There is no such thing as advanced shooting. There is only mastery of the fundamentals delivered at speed and on demand. There's no such thing as advanced shooting. There's only the advanced application of the basics. There's no such thing as advanced shooting, only the perfect execution of the fundamentals under stress. There's no such thing as advanced shooting. It's the basics done exceptionally well. Now, I get what they're trying to say. I'm sure you do too. Basically, the message is that advanced shooting is just simply being really good at the fundamentals and doing those, especially on demand and under stress. Yes, this makes sense. However, to say there is no such thing as advanced shooting and then explain what advanced shooting is doesn't make sense. And there's more to it. Now, I'm not trying to shit talk anyone who said this. I've heard this quote in different performance classes I've taken, and I highly recommend those classes and those instructors. I just disagree with this phrase. So don't hear me trying to talk shit on anyone. I just disagree with this phrase. And again, I think we throw around words without actually knowing what those words mean. So let's go into the definition of the word advance from Merriam-Webster. Far on in time or course, being beyond others in progress or ideas, greatly developed beyond an initial stage, much evolved from an early ancestral type. So, being that I usually hear this phrase, there is no such thing as advanced shooting, from the performance shooter guys, practical shooter guys, and instructors who are really good at shooting, if we asked that guy who said it, would you say that when it comes to shooting, you are not evolved from an early ancestral type, that you are not developed beyond an initial stage? Of course they wouldn't say that that was true, because they're good at shooting, right? So they'd be like, no, I'm definitely developed beyond an initial stage. That would mean they're an advanced shooter, okay? So with that statement, there is no such thing as advanced shooting. I think it would make more sense to say advanced shooting is. So instead of saying there's no such thing and then explain what advanced shooting is, they could just say what advanced shooting is. So advanced shooting is mastery of the fundamentals delivered at speed and on demand. That makes sense. Advanced shooting is the advanced application of the basics. This makes sense. Advanced shooting is the perfect execution of the fundamentals under stress. Yes, this all makes sense. But to say there's no such thing as an advanced shooter, I do not believe that makes sense. And the other funny thing with this is, being that it comes from a lot of competition shooters like USPSA guys, they have different groups of shooters. Like they have a B class, A class, master class, right? They're separating the shooters based on how advanced they are. So I would say that if there's no such thing as advanced shooting, then why are we separating the shooters based on how good they are? All right. Another thing, I've heard this from an instructor who then went on to explain. He said, there is no such thing as advanced shooting, only the advanced application of the basics, or something similar to that. And then he went on to explain how he has a level 1, 2, and 3 course, and you have to do level 1 before you can go to level 2, before you can go to level 3. Well, if there's no such thing as advanced shooting, why can't you just go to level 3? So again, I'm not trying to talk shit on anyone who says that. Do not hear that, because I've heard this statement from lots of guys. I highly recommend, guys that I have interviewed and are on my channel, that I will, when they're coming to Florida, I'll post their links to their classes on my website. Not talking shit on them, just the statement doesn't make sense. Furthermore, when we look at the definition of the word advanced, one of the ones I got is being beyond others in progress or ideas. That ideas part is very important. And this is where there's a difference between shooting and fighting and the philosophy that follows each. Because another phrase I've heard is shooting is shooting. Okay, somewhat, yeah, it is, and definitively, yes, it is. But if we think about what's the difference between a dude picking up a gun and shooting one round every 5 seconds at like 7 yards at a big target with a big berm behind him, what is the difference between that and you coming into a room and doing a hostage shot to save your wife? Two totally different things, right? And again, I see this phrase proliferated most with the USPSA guys, the competition shooter guys that are really good at shooting. But when we look at the style of shooting they're doing, it is two-handed static shooting. Now, I know you're saying, but no, they run and go to different spots and then they shoot all these targets. Yes, they do. But while they're shooting, as far as I can see, they are always two hands on the gun, and their movement is so slow that they might as well not be moving while they're shooting. They will sprint to another spot and move really slow while they shoot, and sprint to another spot and move really slow while they shoot, again, with two hands on the gun, because that is literally the way that game is designed. Competition shooting is confined to a berm, unlike real life, right? So it's confined to a berm where they set up the stages so you can run over here, shoot all these targets, then run over here, shoot all these targets, run over here, and shoot all these targets. When we look at the style of shooting they're doing while they are actually pressing the trigger, it's just two-handed static shooting. So of course, there's no such thing as advanced shooting when that's what's going on. Now, there are different pressures. I'm not saying that competition shooting is bad or anything. I just think we should recognize what it really is. It's not the pinnacle of shooting. If we were to make it like really the highest level of stress, well, number one, the targets would be moving and shooting back at you, and you would be moving and shooting back at them. And the no-shoot targets would be actual people. There's a difference, right? And I'm not saying that we need to do that, of course. But when I look at what's actually happening when they're going through the shooting process, they stop and they shoot all these targets. And yeah, they might be moving, but again, they're not moving fast. They're going to a really slow pace to engage all these targets while staying in a certain designated area. When you think about that compared to things you'll experience in force on force, number one, but also just things you will see in actual gunfights, well, the ideas behind what is driving that statement are totally different, because that statement, again, is coming from those dudes that are static shooters. They're really fucking good, though. They're really fucking good, and you should learn from them. I do. I take their classes. I recommend it. However, there are more things advanced beyond that. So when I think about that phrase, there is no such thing as advanced shooting, I think about this video.
Huh? Okay. Shit! Shit! I'm hit! Shot my rifle!
So there's a big difference between that and the idea of just simply getting really good at the fundamentals. So, this is where words have meaning. There is such a thing as advanced on pretty much everything. And to say that there simply isn't, and all you have to do is get good at the fundamentals, I don't believe that's true. Anyways, thank you for watching. Keep fighting communism. Kill all pedophiles. And remember that training saves lives.